she has completely shifted the current meta. She can fit into any draft or team comp. She's the one and only Lady of the Scales. Hi everyone, Shaban here. Today, let's talk about Lady of the Scales. As a new overpowered unit in the latest update, Lady of the Scales has shifted the current meta. Unlike traditional Soul Weavers who rely on healing or boosting allies' combat readiness, she can boost her own CR by opponents, granting her exceptional queue-sniping ability. Additionally, her CR interruption ability greatly disrupts the flow of opponents' combos. She also has a unique sacrifice mechanic that provides incredible damage sharing potential, countering prior meta's popular CR boosting and aggro teams. She consistently snipes standard CR boosters to secure sustained field dominance. If you're ready to take on this powerful meta, stick with me. Next, we'll start with her stats and gear setup to break down the Lady of the Scales. A character's gear ties to their kit, but unlike most units with a fixed best setup, she works with different builds. This build uncertainty creates an info gap, making it harder for opponents to counter her. Let's analyze her stat roll needs via her kit. First, her only attack skill S1 has a 1.0 multiplier, clear proof she's no damage dealer. Attack, critical hit chance, and critical hit damage are useless stats. We rule them out first. Her S2 passive has two unique mechanics, 70% damage sharing and CR boosting, cementing her role as a support unit countering burst damage. Looking at her full kit, she lacks any self-cleanse capability. As an anti-nuke unit, she relies on queue-sniping to activate S3 and cleanse the entire team. In short battles, effect resistance becomes an extremely critical stat for her. Next, her passive is specifically tuned to counter CR boosting units. Anytime an enemy boosts CR, she snags half of that boost. For AoE CR pulls, flag from a full enemy team, each enemy's boost contributes half, adding up to double the enemy's original CR gain. Against players with first-turn CR boosters and top-tier speed gear, she needs some speed to keep pace. On the flip side, she can also run relatively high-speed gear in speed-centric matchups. Her speed lets her break the enemy's speed chain and swing the fight back in her favor. Thus, speed is also an extremely critical stat for her. To keep her from getting focused down early, she's pretty squishy otherwise. You'll usually need some tankiness to keep her on the field. Her S2 passive designates the front line as a sacrifice at battle start, granting the team 70% damage sharing. This may seem to keep her safe from focused fire, but she's still vulnerable to abilities that bypass it. So in prolonged fights, health and defense are relatively important stat rolls. While her S1 inflicts fear, it only has a 75% trigger chance before soul burn. Even if you soul burn to inflict the entire enemy team with fear, foes still have a 40% chance to dispel it. Relatively speaking, effectiveness is pretty underwhelming here. Stacking it means sacrificing some effect resistance, speed, and tankiness. While the fear from her S1 can even turn the tide in some cases, other stat rolls clearly take higher priority. So, stacking effectiveness isn't usually recommended. We've identified 4 core stat rolls for the Lady of the Scales: effective resistance, speed, health, and defense. For her main gear sets, the go-to options are a speed set paired with either an immunity set, health set, defense set, or resistance set. How you specifically allocate these for stat rolls depends on your playstyle, and we'll dive deeper into this later. For artifacts, viable options include Guardian Ice Crystals, Soul Consolation, and Spotted Mouse Hair Tie. Among them, Guardian Ice Crystals primarily grants effect resistance up while adding a bit of healing. This boosts her team's sustainability, making it a highly recommended pick. As for Soul Consolation, it's typically paired with a hyperspeed Lady of the Scales. Besides providing effect resistance, it further enhances her queue-sniping ability when facing nano-attack skills. Additionally, she can also equip Spotted Mouse Hair Tie, which offers souls to help her allies. The Lady of the Scales has 2 go-to gear builds, and both high-speed and high-resistance setups shine in their own ways. Now, the high-speed build lets her easily lock in queue-sniping plays. She can pop her S3 to lean into that queue-sniping edge, and even fire off her S3 fast enough to trigger a CR pull. It lets her team shift into a burst-focused comp, turning the tide with heavy damage. For the high-resistance build, she doubles down on dispelling and damage sharing. You can even slot her into the front line here. Her high effect resistance keeps her undying buff from getting dispelled, which locks in that steady 70% damage sharing effect for the team. There's also a rare bulky healer build for her, prioritizes effectiveness. Looking for openings in prolonged standoff battles. A counter set works in theory, but fear landing and staying is low. This playstyle lacks viability, so it's not recommended. Next is the panel shared by Wampi, a legendary rank player. Wampi uses a high-speed build in legendary tier, with an average gear score of 96. With a high speed of 296 and decent tankiness, she can act as both an opener and respond to the opponent's first move by quickly queue-sniping to take back momentum. The panels for the Lady of the Scales' other two builds are below. Be sure to tweak her gear yourself. Your playstyle fit matters most. Next, let's dive into practical battle analysis for deeper insights. Now for the Lady of the Scales and ban pick phase. Whether you're going first or second in picks, you can blind pick her every time she's still available. It's usually best to lock her in first off the bat. Then, depending on how the opponent reacts, you can either turtle up later or double down on speed. Her presence poses a huge threat to a range of units. This includes previously popular and powerful picks like Lone Wolf Piera, Afternoon Soak Flan, and Sage Ball, as well as Empyrean Ilioth and Boss Aranka, many of whom are frequent CR pullers. Opponents will struggle to pick these units, leaving their BP heavily limited. If they force it, they may only ban one, either her or other counters, turning their former BP edge into a disadvantage. Her 70% damage share also acts as a damage check. It shuts down burst comps, and slow low damage stall teams may lack firepower to break through. Stall teams also struggle against her. Plus, her high damage share boosts team survival, and her skills are flexible. Even if she skips S3 first turn, she can pass with S1 or burn souls for S1's AoE fear to threaten foes. Thus, 1 week since the Lady of the Scales launch, she consistently maintains a win rate of over 60% in Master Tier and above, with her first pick rate nearly hitting 90%. These absurdly strong stats are more than enough to speak volumes about just how powerful she is. To sum up, the Lady of the Scales has single-handedly triggered a seismic shift in the RTA meta. For slow comp players, the queue-sniping setups you once relied on can barely handle her, and the slow meta that emerged post-balance changes has been appended all over again. For burst comp players, you'll struggle to counter her. So, you're forced to pick her as a solution, but drafting her often leaves you short on damage, making counter by picking ineffective. Of course, she has weaknesses. You can counter her with units like Max Ascended, Summer Photogenic, or equivalents that ignore damage sharing. Use New Moon Luna to skip a turn, and then seal her passives. Have Mir Tenebria block her allies, or let Festive Edda burn souls to silence buffs. These so-called counters, however, often struggle more against the opponent's other units. Right now, there's no perfect counter to her. The Lady of the Scales boasts top-tier power that outclasses units like Rinnock and Boss Aranka, reshaping the RTA meta once more. We give her a 10 out of 10 rating. With no solid counters in the current patch, you'll have to wait for new units to counter her. She's an overtuned must-have unit for RTA. Her mechanics are future-proof, so don't skip her. She's a must-pull. As we wrap up, let's conclude with an exciting RTA match featuring high-speed Lady of the Scales. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope my insights have been helpful to you. If you enjoyed the content, please consider following me for more practical and high-quality game guides in the future. Your support means a lot. Thank you all. The Lady of the Scales game plan is straightforward. Start with a blind first pick of her. Then, no matter who the opponent picks next, you just lock in counters, ideally ones that shut down 2 to 3 of their units at once. That way, they'll be scrambling to ban everything, and you can wrap up the match easily. Dry your tears, my child.
बिजली बनके बरसती हो पानी में मेरी सबकी रानी में
Then it seems we must first deal with the nuisances, shouldn't we? Kill them. The arrogant Lionheart didn't trigger her S3. Dispose of them, Tenny. You are the baddest bitch on this battlefield. That role is your responsibility. The arrogant Lionheart has shirked her duty. Not a single soul shall reprimand you. Mercy from a god is never without its price.